The story that I find just absolutely hysterical of how much money people have. Like, look, on a fireman's salary, I'm looking at this story of a person, of a player spending $100,000. $100,000. I'm only asking the question, what job do you have? Like, what do you do for a living to where you could spend $100,000 in a video game? Please let me know. I want to know because I want to make that much money. Can I have that much money to just blow into a video game? Something that's not going to be whatsoever, a return on my investment by any means. But can I know, like, again, like I said, fireman salary, I want to know, how do you make $100,000? Sorry, how do you make so much money to where you can spend $100,000 in a video game? That is insane. So we're going to be talking about this. For those that don't know, we are going to be talking about a player in Diablo. We've been talking about Diablo Immortal for quite some time now. But a player in Diablo, a whale in this mobile, free-to-play game, but it's pretty much it's a pay-to-win game. He has spent $100,000 in this game, and he's gotten to the point where he's spent so much money. He's upgraded his character so much. He's done everything. He's done it all, like The Rock says. But he's gotten to a point now where he literally cannot compete against anybody. He has spent so much money in this game where he is such a giant whale. There's no other fish in the sea, man. He is it. He is all there is in the sea. And he's up to this point now where he has spent this much money in Diablo where he's like, look, I can't do anything. Activision, Blizzard. Hey, I've spent so much money in your video game. I can't compete. I can't do anything because I'm the tippity top of the mountain, like the Dr. Disrespect likes to say. So where do we go from here? What do we do for this player who's complaining and wanting a refund of his $100,000 that he spent in the game? Where do we go from here? Does Activision Blizzard give him a refund? I sincerely doubt it. That is their money. They're keeping that money. But where do we go from that, at least when it comes to the future of video games? When it comes to this story that we'll get into an additional story where Diablo Immortal is having updates from what they're saying, what their future plans are for Diablo Immortal. They're talking about expansions every couple of weeks. That's crazy. With the amount of money they're bringing in, from what reports are $100 million is what they've made in this so far. It's literally nothing but up here for Diablo Immortal, and it truly makes me concerned on what video games are going to be looking like in the future when it comes to this pretty much pay to win scenario, and especially when it comes to guys like this that have spent $100,000 in the game. We'll get into this as well, and this is, again, like I said, my biggest fear. The Division. We've talked about this previously. The Division resurgence is pretty much, from what I'm understanding, a mobile version of Diablo Immortal. Like Diablo Immortal, you got that, you got the Diablo franchise. The Division franchise is doing the exact same thing from what I'm understanding. So what does this look like? What does the gaming landscape look like when it comes to players like myself that don't make a whole lot of money, that got a couple of kids to take care of, that has a family to take care of, I got a mortgage to take care of? What does it look like when it comes to us wanting to enjoy video games, but now the landscape is slowly changing to a pay-to-win pretty much landscape? I don't know. Let's get into this. Let's first talk about this story when it comes to Asmongold. Now, I actually watched his video, and I thought it was a really great video, and it was breaking down this player that is in Diablo Immortal that has spent $100,000. He has upgraded his character so much to where he's literally not competitive at all. He's not competitive. He can't even queue into these PvP matches to fight anybody. It's crazy to see that somebody has this much money that they just put into something that's not going to give them really much of a return. Now, again, this is somebody that is a content creator. He does YouTube, he does Twitch, so this is his job. This is his basic income where people donate, he gets commercial ads and stuff like that, payment-wise. So that's where he's somewhat giving his money. I'm going to tell you right now, again, as somebody that does this on the side, I am a firefighter. I want to know how much. How do you get this much money? How do you get it? How do you get it to where you can spend $100,000 in a video game? Like, please tell me. I'll use that towards my kids' daycare costs and stuff like that. But it's insane to know that somebody has this much money to be able to spend into a video game. So let's get into this Game Rant's article. So since the release of Diablo Immortal, countless Activision fans have voiced their pleasure with the mobile RPG microtransactions, including streamers, yada yada yada. The proper streamer, Twitch streamer asmongold has been very critical in the past and continues to make fun of players, including one that has spent $100,000 in this limited time game. As it's just, I'm blown away. I am truly, like, we've talked about it. I've even popped up, the gambling simulator where you roll so much to see, what your odds are and getting like the top gem and stuff. It's insane to know that somebody has spent that much money, or even more. Like, even though this is $100,000, it could be more for some people. Apparently this player is a part of a guild that has spent pretty much the same amount that he has. A guild that has spent as much money as he had in the game. Like, this is the crazy thing, is that, yes, this player is complaining that he cannot, Diablo Immortal can spend money in the game throughout multiple methods, such as acquiring powerful gems, legendary crests, and direct purchases in the battle pass. Yeah, you have players that are spending countless amounts of money in this game to where, it is making Activision just hand over fist rich. But it's in actually kind of a weird situation. Does Activision, knowing that they have these whales, kind of cater towards the whales and be like, okay, we need to fix this problem. We have an issue with the whales that are putting in, hundreds of thousands of dollars in their video game that are not being able to participate in the game. How do we kind of get it to a point where the people that are the biggest spenders in the game are actually happy with the product? Because currently right now with this person, the biggest spender in the game is not happy with the product that he's putting this amount of money in, and that is the reason why he's asking for a refund. So the trouble that this player is experiencing is a persistent for nearly 2 months. The player is regularly waiting for PvP queues for up to 2 hours, which is a duration of, for a queue for the 2 hours of the duration of the PvP, which is in Diablo Immortal's Battleground. Because he's experiencing this issue so much that at launch of the game, after spending more than most of the players, apparently what is happening is that he's just getting to this point where the queue is happening, but he's not being queued with anybody. He is literally at the tippity top of this queue, or at the top of the branch, I guess, of the PvP realm of the game. He's not queuing with anybody. Supposedly, from what the rumor is, that he's like at a 97% victory rate, I guess. And like, what video game out there where players are at the 97% rate of win-loss ratio in a game? This person is, because of the pay-to-win scenario, pretty much reality that Diablo Immortal is. Now, again, we'll get into this as well, and we'll kind of end it from here. This is one thing. This is one player, again, that's a part of a clan of players that have been spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in Diablo Immortal. This is one player having an issue with the PvP system. Now, like I said, for somebody that's a giant whale within the game, I imagine Activision Blizzard are going to be very quick on being able to fix this issue. This is just an issue that apparently somebody that's at the tippity top just has nowhere else to go. They want to play the game. They want to continue to spend money. They want to continue to, put more money into this game. But at a certain point, apparently he has hit the ceiling in the game where you can't you can spend more money in the game. But when it comes to content, when it comes to PvP, when it comes to other things in the game, you have reached the tippity top. There is nowhere else to go from there. And other whales that haven't spent as much money as he has in the game haven't even gotten to his point. They haven't even reached the point that this player is at. It's just a crazy story. And again, I am bewildered on how somebody has spent that much money in Diablo Immortal. But anyway, we are going to be getting into this now. This is Diablo Immortal will receive new content every 2 weeks, said by Blizzard. Now, you know what? This is something I can't believe. If you are having these whales spending $100,000 in the game, you have multiple clans that are doing this. You have other players that might not be spending up to $100,000, but tens of thousands, a few $1,000s here and there, a couple hundreds. You can definitely see how Activision is making several hundreds of millions of dollars with this game alone. So with this, it's saying Blizzard has revealed details of the Diablo Immortal content delivery strategy, which includes plans to release a new game patch every 2 weeks. Could you imagine? Could you imagine a game having a patch every 2 weeks? New features, new things here and there, new dungeons and stuff like that. With the amount of money, I mean, even this, it talks about, season battle passes, the amount of content that they're able to put into this game just because of the amount of money it's bringing in. It's pretty crazy, but you can definitely believe it with players like this guy right here that's spending $100,000, just one person. Yeah, you can definitely believe on how Diablo Immortal is planning on being able to bring in new content every 2 weeks. Free to play game, pay to win game, but apparently it's going to be getting new content every 2 weeks. So, let's get into the last thing. This makes me so concerned for the future of video games. You have Diablo Immortal, you have the lessons learned from Activision Blizzard on what they're experiencing in this game currently right now, with, again, a lesson learned that a player is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in their game, and they've reached the tippity top, and there's nowhere else to go from there. So how do they continue to get money from this big whale that's pretty much beached itself within the video game? Blizzard and Activision is trying to figure that out. They're trying to troubleshoot, and they're trying to make their experience kind of tailored to these players that are hitting this wall and trying to get some lessons learned from that. Well, it's not just Activision Blizzard that's learning lessons from this. You have games like from Ubisoft with the Division Resurgence that, again, to me, it truly is looking like a Diablo Immortal clone, just the Division. I don't know how it's going to be going. That's just my point of view. It's in closed alpha right now. Could be completely wrong about this entire game, but truly it is looking like you have the Diablo Immortal game from Activision Blizzard as a mobile game. It later goes over to a PC, variant of it. But now you have the Division Resurgence. And it truly is. It's going to be a mobile game similar to Diablo Immortal, and it truly is looking like something that's going to be a direct clone of what Diablo Immortal is doing. Is this game companies, Activision, Blizzard, Ubisoft, they're learning from each other. They're able to tailor their games and getting the amount of money. Again, it's crazy to see the amount of money that Diablo Immortal is bringing in, and other game studios are learning from that. And again, lessons are being learned from this to where they're able to be like, hey, you know what? Activision Blizzard, they got a working formula. They're bringing in millions upon millions of dollars. How do we do the same at Ubisoft? How do we do the same thing at other gaming companies? Games companies are definitely learning from this. And I think when it comes to us as gamers, I do not believe that we are going to be well taken care of whatsoever. As, again, like I said, as somebody that just has a basic income, not to the extent that I can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in a game and apparently have fun, but us as gamers, as like just the general audience, I think this is just it's a really bad slippery slope that we're going down, and I do fear for what the future of video games has in store for us. But anyway, wanted to talk to you guys about this $100,000 player spending this much money and just kind of the hiccups that he's running into. I wanted to let you guys know that Diablo Immortal, apparently, because the amount of money that they're bringing in from especially these big whales that are putting that much money in, are going to be having new updates apparently every 2 weeks. And with Division and Resurgence, it just makes me truly wonder what the gaming landscape is going to look like in the next couple of years when it comes to now possibly 2 games just having a pay-to-win system. So anyway, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about this? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please have a great rest of the day. Look forward to talking to you guys all next time.